5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, it's the Ramble. I'm Alex Bennett, and the Ramble goes from now until midnight Eastern Daylight Time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a guy that I haven't seen. We discussed this 30 years?
30 years.
30 years. And he used to be a regular on my show in San Francisco, and one of the favored people on the show. I mean, you could call up and say, I want to be come on over tomorrow, and I'd go, fine, you know.
Right.
We never told you, I'm sorry, we're too overbooked or anything.
No, never.
In fact, there was no such thing as being overbooked on my show, because the more comics we had, the funnier it got. You know.
And the bigger audience we got.
Yeah. And so I guess you were one of my favorites, because you knew how to play the game. You know, you did it well. And Bubbles was one of my favorites, and Durst was one of my favorites, and Warren Thomas. Warren Thomas, God bless him. Yeah, long gone now.
Yeah, the hospital gave him AIDS.
Yes, he went into. Well, here's what happened. Warren Thomas had AIDS, and here's how it happened. Boy, this is a really old story. He went into the hospital for, I think it was a blood clot or something.
Yes.
And they gave him, this was at San Francisco General, they gave him blood transfusions. Well, that was when the blood supply was compromised. Okay.
Right.
And he got AIDS as a result of it. And he was down to like one T cell or something like that. And then they started having the cocktails started coming out. And
right.
His immunity got better and better and better.
Right.
And he kept going for many, many years. And they came to New York, and I had him on my show here at Sirius. And he was living here. And all of a sudden, people didn't hear from him. And they finally went to his apartment. And he had been dead for several days. And
I didn't know that.
And I'd never had it explained what he died of. You know, whether it was AIDS or whether it was something akin to AIDS, you know?
Right, right. But the irony is the hospital, he went in for one thing and he came out dead.
Well, he didn't die from the...
No. What I'm saying is they gave him HIV.
They gave him HIV, yeah. But they didn't know that at the time. They didn't know that the blood supply was compromised. I mean, you remember those beginning days of AIDS in San Francisco. You want to talk about a disease. It caused an amazing panic. You can talk about AIDS. Now, I know some of you don't care because you're not gay, and I'm not gay either, but I knew a lot of gay people. And imagine that the idea that somebody you love, you can't love fully, because if you have sex with them, you might die.
Right.
I mean, that's really just, to me, anguishing. You know, that you can't resolve your romantic feelings towards somebody in sex, because that sex may kill you.
Right.
And they didn't, you know, just like the coronavirus in the beginning, they didn't know what was causing it, how it was happening, what the impact was, you know.
Right.
And it was a plague on our community. We lived in San Francisco, and that was
absolutely
probably impacted worse than any other place in the United States.
Yes.
Amazing. But anyway,
well,
so during that time, Warren Thomas had a problem where they had to have a blood transfusion. They just gave him a blood transfusion, and it was blood transfusion with AIDS in it, and he got AIDS. That was it. You know, there's an old joke about what's the worst thing about having AIDS, and the joke answer was having to tell your parents you're Haitian. But in this case, here was a guy who was as heterosexual as anybody I know. I mean, hell, He was more heterosexual than you and I combined. Okay, he was
Yeah.
getting laid so often, you couldn't count it. All right.
Right.
He's a good-looking guy. Had charm. He could charm the pants off of you,
Literally.
which he did with many women.
Yes.
And then to go in and get a disease, which is basically associated with gay people, and having to say, I have AIDS, but I'm not gay.
Right. Right.
People didn't understand that, but there were a lot of people who were straight who got AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
But it wasn't from having sex. It was from things like this, from the blood transfusion or the exchange of blood in some particular way. And so it was rough for him. But to have him I don't know. They never said what he died from. I kept asking people, and there were memorials and things that you could write to and so on, and never said what the cause was. It just found him dead.
Right. We did a memorial for him at the Punchline. That was just too funny.
Yeah. He was one of the funniest people I think I've ever known. He was one of the.
Oh, yeah.
He was what we call the riff monster. This guy could riff like nobody's business.
Absolutely. I would find him in my apartment smoking my weed.
What, you just walk in and he was smoking your weed?
Yeah, I'd walk into my apartment and he's sitting at the kitchen table smoking my weed. Warren and I at one point were like brothers, except that like I'm 5'6" and Jewish and he's 6'5" and African American.
Yeah, exactly.
Besides that, we were twins.
Yeah. And he, his career was up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. He would get jobs, and then all of a sudden he didn't have them anymore. I remember once they had a late night show on CBS where they were trying out all kinds of different people as hosts for a week to see if they could be the next slot on CBS late night.
Right.
And he did a week, but he didn't get it. Okay. But then the other one was he went over to that, what was the black comedy show in Living Color.
Right.
And he became a writer and in Living Color. And in fact, while he was there, if you listened to the show, you could hear him laughing on the laugh track.
Really?
Yeah, because he would sit in the audience and you could always hear him. He had a laugh that was very special. But he worked on Living Color for a short time and then he was gone.
Right. He was big at self-sabotaging.
Yeah.
He got a lot of opportunities, and he just destroyed them.
Well, there are certain people like him who are so talented that they're told how talented they are, and they're lauded for how talented they are. And that becomes a problem. It kind of cripples them because they feel they don't have to do anything extraordinary to get the gigs, to be in the business, and so on.
Right.
And there are a couple people like that. Jeremy Kramer is a comic nobody here who's listening to us even knows of. Okay?
Right.
Probably a legend among comedians.
Absolutely. San Francisco comedians, particularly.
Yeah. And the fact was that he, I think, sabotaged his career like crazy. He kept saying, everybody's telling me what a genius I am. All this stuff will come to me.
Right,
well,
right.
How many bad comedians make it? Lots. And why do they make it?
They have business sense.
They have a business sense and a drive, and they don't want to give up.
Right.
And everybody,
no matter what.
Comedians would come to me and they would say, "What? Can you give me any advice?" And I said, "The only piece of advice I can give you is never give up.
Right.
Always want it. And if you don't give up, you're going to have some certain measure of notoriety.
Right. I've been doing stand-up since '81.
Yeah.
And I still love every minute of being on stage.
Now, I think the last time we talked to you, I think we talked about your movie career, which was getting off to a pretty good start there for a while. You did Clint Eastwood film Sudden Impact.
Right.
And
I did Gene Wilder, Woman in Red.
Well, now tell them about that, because that one you did, but you're not in.
No,
But if they
I
look
never stepped in front of the camera,
if they look at the credits at the end of the film, you have a credit.
which means I get residuals.
Yeah. Now, so they did a scene with you in Woman in Red,
Right.
right? You did that. Big deal. Then they don't run it. They don't run your scene.
Right.
But you get the credit, so you get the residuals. It's wonderful.
It's
Well,
a great gig.
I'm sure you would have rather that it was in the film, though, and you could show it to people, you know.
Sure.
Then you did another picture, which I had a small association with. You were in maybe the most disastrously bad movie of all time.
Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck.
That was my first film.
And by the way, you're in it quite prominently. You and Monty Hoffman, who's also gone at this time, and you the two that you had a big you played like a what was you were trying to come onto a woman or something? Was that
No. I was making out with a woman.
Yeah.
Seriously making out with a woman. I wasn't acting.
Really?
Oh yeah. We were going at it. And then the duck comes flying. This is when the duck first gets to Earth.
Yeah.
So he comes crashing through in between us, and it's like, what the duck, or what the fuck, or whatever my line was.
Yeah. Wow. And that film was a disaster. And I knew it was. I don't know when you knew it was going to be a disaster, but they got a hold of me and they said, "Listen, we're doing a final scene for Howard the Duck, the movie we're doing, and we're doing it at the Warfield Theater. And we need to pack the place with an audience." Okay, so so on the air, I did a plea that everybody should go down a certain time to the Warfield Theater and be part of the movie, and I filled the entire place. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I go over there after my show when they're starting to film, and they've got this guy who comes out in a duck suit. And I look at the guy who I'm dealing with from Lucasfilm, and I said, so the duck, that's just kind of, you're placing him there so you can then animate the duck, because Howard the Duck was a cartoon strip about a cartoon duck living in a real world.
Right.
Okay.
Smoked cigars, gambled, chased women.
So I figured what they were doing, because I think they had already had Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and I was figured that what they were using is this guy was in the duck suit as a place marker, so they could then animate over that. And I said, so you're going to animate over the duck, right? He says, no, that's the duck for the movie. And I looked back at him and I said, you're in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot who directed it, but one of those directors that's not sure of themselves, so they shoot everything like 20 times.
Well, it was Gloria Katz and her husband was the guy who directed the film. And they were always pals with Lucas. And the film was a disaster. I mean, absolute disaster. I don't think it ever made its money back, and
I doubt it.
To this day, if you were to interview George Lucas and then mention Howard the Duck, he'd probably give you a dirty look. It's part of his career he does not want to remember.
That's right. Although it didn't hurt his career, though, did it?
Well, no. I mean, he still sold the place for $4 billion or something like that.
Right.
So, any other movies beside that?
Well, I did 2 Rob Schneider films. I did The Animal, and I did The Hot Chick.
Yeah.
What else did I do? I did an Eric Estrada movie. Yeah. Here's the difference between an Eric Estrada movie and a Clint Eastwood movie. Clint Eastwood, I told you the Clint Eastwood story, didn't I?
What was that?
Okay, so we're on location, and they feed us while we're on location, but you got to feed yourself when we're not shooting. And I got no money, so I'm eating food and I'm stealing food, and I'm eating food and I'm stealing food. And I feel a paw, not a hand, a paw on my shoulder. And I look up and it's Eastwood. And I think, fuck. I just ended my career before I said my first line. And he says to me, you don't have to steal it, Steven. You can have it. and then he gives me $50 and says, "Make sure you eat tonight."
Wow.
He
Wow.
came up. He came up to me at every meal and said, "Do you have enough to eat? Do you need any money?"
That's terrific.
And he got me my SAG card.
Wow. Wow.
So I shot that in '83. And here's the difference. Like, if I would drop into Cobb's when Cobb's was in the marina,
Move over just
and
a
they
little.
say,
Move over just a little bit. Yeah. We
"This
need
way."
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Just
Okay, so
finish what you were saying because we're running out of time here.
okay, what was I saying?
I don't know. Oh, your SAG card. Your SAG card.
Oh, yeah. He got me my SAG card. Howard the Duck, they didn't even mention SAG cards. But yeah, Eastwood made sure I got my SAG card because he made sure I did my own stunts and I did my own lines.
Oh, really? Did you do you still have SAG as a
I'm,
thing?
I'm still an active member.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Here we go. It's my SAG card.
I don't know why I keep sending them money for dues.
Well, I'll tell you why you should, and but we got to go because we've run out of time. You want to do this in a couple of weeks again?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I won't ask him where he's playing because nobody's playing anywhere. But he's
killing. But he's killing.
But he's killing. I love you, Stephen. Thanks for being with us.
Love you too, Alex.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for having me.
5 years and still talking. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Yes, that's Stephen Kravitz. Hello, everybody. How are you? How are you? How are you? How I've been feeling today? I don't know. I've got this thing. I don't know. It feels like shortness of breath. I have no symptoms of coronavirus except that. I don't have any of my usual problems. I'm fine. Yeah. Well, what the hell? Anyway. I don't have a fever, don't have body aches, I don't have chills, I don't have anything like that. So, what the hell? Anyway, listen, it's time for us to start assembling a panel to be called a citizen panel. And what I'm going to do early on here is I'm going to enable the waiting room. The reason being, last night, I'm going to enable it as soon as I've got a certain amount of people here, and then I'll have to keep an eye out for people trying to join. Because last night I got Zoom bombed, if you believe in such things, which was just a whole bunch of people I never heard of in my life trying to get on the show and then not saying anything. And when they Zoom bomb you, if you allow them to use screen sharing, then they really screw you over. So anyway, if you go to gabnet.net, center of the page there's a thing that says click here to get onto our Zoom. And you can see it if you're watching us on YouTube at the under Alex Bennett. It says Zoom us during the show, and you just click on that. Or you go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/A Bennett, ABENNETT, and that will suddenly make you have the ability to call us. But anyway, by the way, here we go. Charlie Wallace is already here. He's just joined our little group early. Oh, and there's Brian. Let me do this. Okay, there's Brian Neary. And so you don't think I have the COVID, do you, Brian? Are you there, Brian? Are you there, Brian?
Yes.
Yes. You don't think I have the COVID, do you?
No.
I don't think you do. I don't have a temperature, but I've got head shortness of breath all day, for a couple of days. Not shortness, not really bad, but,
Are you exercising, Alex?
No.
Shame.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah.
5-10 minutes at least.
Yeah. But that doesn't sound like COVID to you, does it? I have to have.
No.
I'd have to have the temperature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I keep taking it every 2 or 3 minutes here because I got my little thing.
Nice.
Hello, Rob. Here we go. Look at this. And you can all see I'm 97.4. I don't think I have the COVID, do you? No matter what other symptoms I might have. Hello, Josh Wheeler. How are you, Josh? Gosh.
And also, Alex, it's not getting worse, right? It's just sort of lingering.
It's lingering. It started happening a couple of days ago, and then it's, it lingers. It's lingering.
Okay.
So that's okay, right?
Yeah.
That's not COVID. By the way, I found out, though, the guy that I own these photographs with from this woman who died and left us the photographs, I finally found out what happened to him. He's dead.
Oh, man.
Heart attack.
Wow.
I thought it might be COVID or something like that. Heart attack. Hi, Rob.
Hey, how are you, Alex?
You didn't like hearing the word heart attack, did you? I mean, there was... Huh?
Not a good way to go.
Not a good way to go. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a good way to go. We don't know.
True.
You know? We won't know till it happens. Yeah.
And then we don't live to tell about
Oh, by the way, let me say this to Charlie. Happy Juneteenth, Charlie.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I found out why they're doing the fireworks for Juneteenth. Because it's their Independence Day.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that when our Independence Day comes along, they won't blow off the fireworks, but I don't think I got much of a chance of that. So.
No, you're going to get a twofer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chinese and Vietnamese New Year, no, they light them off both ends, both sides.
Yeah. Do you know, I was watching some documentaries about slavery and emancipation and when it happened. Do you know in certain parts of the country, like Texas, it didn't happen for like 2 years because the word didn't get to them, or they had to pass some kind of law in Texas in order to free their slaves or whatever. So, and also, it was kind of a abrupt thing they did with emancipation, in that all of a sudden here were all these people who didn't know what to do with themselves. Up until this time, they didn't have to worry about getting food and, whatever. And all of a sudden, they're out trying to figure out how to survive. It was pretty brutal. And it didn't change much for about 100 years. So, it was pretty fucked up. But anyway, happy Juneteenth. Yes, John Larkin. Is that your thumbs up to Juneteenth?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Okay.
It's about time.
Yeah. What I'm doing is now my question is, should I put us now behind the wall and enable the waiting room so that we don't have happen what happened last night? And if anybody is calling us and I recognize their name, we're fine. Okay? All right? Okay. Let me see here. Oh, here comes Phil. Okay. Phil got in before having to be in the waiting room.
Too late.
Yeah, too late. Okay,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Are we anybody else trying to come on? Let's see here. Okay. Well, let me just, if I see one name I don't know, I'll immediately enable the waiting room. Okay? That's the way we can do it. Who joined us now? Did we just have somebody join us? No, I guess not. No.
Phil was the last one.
Phil was the last one. Yeah, okay. Let me initiate the waiting room, enable the waiting room, and then if I see somebody I know there, we'll be fine. Okay.
If talk is getting boring, just enable it.
Huh?
If talk is getting a little boring tonight, you can just flip it off. Like last night.
Well, I don't know what to do. Whether to enable the waiting room and then enable it when I see at the first moment of seeing somebody I don't notice, I'll get rid of them. But we figured last night it was maybe one person doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is that possible? Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I tell you the truth, I don't think you were targeted. I think it was just a random thing.
Random. Yeah.
Really?
They must have something to see that all these chunk of people that aren't protecting, and then they just blast.
Really? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'll take it a step at a time here. Anyway, oh boy, and I'm lightheaded today. Oh, I'm out of it. I'm just out of it. I decided not to take my my pill last night, and I think I'm having withdrawal symptoms. What are you sucking on there, Phil?
Water. But the way the container's made, even though it's recyclable, it makes me put my head back too far to drink it. So I'd rather use my metal straw.
What you can always do, here's just a suggestion, you can take
Use 2 hands.
and then use your other hand.
Oh yeah,
That helps.
It's called the Trump method.
you know, in my family, anybody that drinks actually extends their pinky. I don't understand why, but and I know it's not the hormones.
No, I don't. I do this. I'm
Hormones.
I'm a point inward kind of person. Rather, you're talking about this. Well, it's what they do with. It's like what they do with a teacup.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
you can't do it. You can't do it with a cup like this because it's too heavy and whatever.
The straw being metal and reusable, I like it. But we take all those gloves that we wear to protect ourselves from COVID, and you see them all over the street, and eventually in the storm drain.
Yeah.
Eventually in some turtle's
they
belly.
They break pretty easily.
Yeah.
Somebody should come out with. Do they make gloves, Brian, that are just like multi? You can use them over and over and over and over again.
Playtex makes them. They wash dishes with them and things like that. Big yellow ones.
No, but you want them somewhat thin so that you can manipulate things.
Yeah, some of the labs use them. But 95% are all disposable in our factories.
All my underwater gloves, I have these ones you can wear underwater, and the fingers, I've had them cut off the last inch of the thumb and the forefinger, so I can manipulate my camera.
Oh, okay. I'm having a problem now with my phone because if I want to use it, and let's say I'm at the pharmacy. Okay, not the pharmacy, but at the drugstore. I'm getting some candy or something, and I want to buy it, and I want to pay for it with my Apple Pay.
Yeah,
I have to remove my mask.
You can't tap in a code.
Well, what I found I can do is if I move it away from my nose, somehow it then recognizes me.
Yeah. Well,
otherwise, Apple's got to come up with a whole new plan.
Yeah. I think they will. They'll probably have 2 face recognition things in there, one with mask and one without.
I would imagine, but they haven't announced anything of that sort. So,
so,
who knows?
But I'm wondering if you change your mask and you get, you got the blue surgical, or you go to the N95, and then all of a sudden Apple says, well, we don't recognize you. You're wearing the wrong mask.
Well, are any of you getting mask envy lately when you see somebody with a really cool mask? Yeah.
Occasionally, yeah. The fashion statement.
In fact, no, there are a lot of them out there now with fashion statements. I just wonder how effective they are. However,
I saw a mask on Facebook today. It was actually a picture of Trump, and he was making a weird thing with his lips, like that, and but it was Trump from here down.
Orange.
I don't remember.
It must have been.
So I saw one of your
here in San Francisco.
I saw one of your pals, Trump fan, waiting to see the rally tonight. And she's going, I don't care. It's worth it for me. I'm not going to get the coronavirus. And she was so fat. I went, comorbidity, she doesn't need the coronavirus to die from her comorbidity, for crying out loud.
Maybe it'll help her lose weight.
Yeah, right. What do you think of that whole deal tomorrow night? He's refusing to do it even though his better angels are saying, don't do it.
Fauci was talking about it a little bit too. He's
really worried about it.
It's a cult.
Well, things have not been so good in Oklahoma in the last couple of days. It's gotten worse and worse. And it has nothing to do with more testing causing more positive results. It's more people winding up in the hospital, which You don't test for. You're either there
Yeah,
or you're not there.
Yeah,
Huh?
they're talking. They're letting them in. There were other people in line, but then also they're letting all those people in 4 hours before Trump even comes out.
Why? So they
Now they're going to be now they're going to be together congested like that for 4 hours, and then Trump's going to be on there for 1.5 or whatever.
What's
or as we know it, marinating.
what's the weather like in Tulsa? Is it I don't have that one on my phone right off.
Nice from standing.
Oh, it's raining. Heavy rain.
Really?
Hot, though. Hot rain.
It's not hot.
Well, it's probably hot, but there's rain. And there's rain scheduled for tomorrow. So,
Boy, it's going to smell great in there tomorrow night.
therefore, he'll only get 100 million people.
How many people have been
500,000
outside waiting for days?
You got. I think it only holds
Sweaty.
22,000.
Mm-hmm. So,
Itching for a fight, too.
No, I don't think so. Why would there be fight? Unless, of course.
Trump's trying to promote a fight. He's
Oh,
go around tweeting, all that bullshit about showing up. You're not going to be treated with kid gloves and all that.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
protest.
I saw that.
fight.
I saw that tweet.
Provocative.
I saw that tweet, and I thought it was very provocative, Phil.
Yeah, John Larkin versus Brian Neary. Let him punch it out on Zoom.
I think if those protesters take a turn and go down that Trump way, and that could be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trump.
Very combustible.
I'm going to see if I can find it. He did a very, let's see
It was
here.
like 3 or 4 things. One of them was a joke. Twitter thing. Let's see if I can find it. Kevin's got it back now.
look at Kevin.
Let's see here. Real Donald Trump. Let me look at it that way, and it'll filter it out.
Twice now my phone has done that.
What done what?
Reboots itself spontaneously.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, take it into the Apple Store.
Yeah, right.
Are they open yet?
Closed.
No,
Yeah.
they
Some of them are open, I think.
I think but they're not opening a lot of them.
Somebody's on. I think it's
Kevin,
Kevin.
It's Kevin.
Kevin and Hitler.
Yes.
Yeah. If Kevin moves in such a way, the Adolf actually was starting to cover his head.
Oh crap! I'm sorry.
What?
I was a little late. I was at the at my Bible class, and we were getting ready for a retreat tomorrow.
I see.
Let me get rid of that. I'm sorry. Jesus Christ.
Let's see here. I'm trying to find that. It's so hard to
I
find.
apologize for that.
It's so hard to find a recent Trump Twitter or tweet because he does so many of them that you can't find the one you want. But basically, he was just doing a whole thing about, you don't want to cause trouble tomorrow at our rally because we're.
Is this it? Any protesters, anarchists, agitators, looters, or lowlifes who are going to Oklahoma, please understand you will be treated like you have been. You will not be treated like you've been in New York, Seattle, Minneapolis. It'll be a much different scene.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Hey, Paul.
It is despicable.
He's like Cyrus from the Warriors. He's gonna crack heads. Come on.
Cyrus and the Warriors.
He's nuts. The man is insane.
You know what I don't have ready to go? I don't have a full house, but we do have a full house. Don't we?
Do it? Oh.
Yes.
Just joined. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a full house. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you
Yep.
put up your little?
I would have to do. Well, let me see here.
Put it in one of the squares.
Huh? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I might be able to. I might be able to do it. Let me see here. First, I have to go to. I want an image. Okay, and then I go add existing, And, oh, here we go. Full house. Okay. All right. And then I bring this down. Okay. I bring this, again, make it smaller. I'm just talking to myself, folks. There we, oh, well, here we go. Here we go. We can do it that way. And there we go, folks. It's a full house. But I did it. You know, hope you all enjoy that one, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, there we go.
I see the GabNet thing.
Huh?
There it is.
Come on.
You see? There it is.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
In fact, let me just bring this down just a little bit here, just to, so it's. Let me see here. There we go. So it's not as much of a problem. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on a second. That's not what I want. Oh, yeah, that's what I want, and I want to make sure that it's there. Okay. All right.
So, Alex, what do you think of Google and Facebook taking down the right-leaning posts and advertisements like the Federalist and some things that and a joke thing that Trump did with two little babies doing something? It was a doctored thing that he posted as a joke.
Well, I don't know. I would have to see them. I'm against censoring advertising, provided the advertising is legitimate, and that it is not lying or being provocative in any sort. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you have to have certain rules about it, but I think given that, I think that, anybody, right or left, who wants to advertise should be allowed to. I mean, what do you have this, you're going to suddenly say, we'll only take left-wing advertising? That's
what the guy from the Federalist is saying.
Yeah.
That's bull.
You got to have a better statement than that. But are you familiar with it?
No, I've seen all kinds of right-wing
Are you
advertising
familiar?
on Facebook.
Are you familiar with the Federalist issue and Facebook and Google?
No.
All right, then I rest my case.
Well, explain
Rest
it.
your case. That doesn't prove that they're discriminating against the Federalists.
Well, that's what they're claiming, and so if you either read the article or saw the piece, you'd be a little more familiar with it. But it doesn't do me any good to talk about something that nobody's familiar with.
Yeah.
Okay, next.
Well, yeah, next. I used to be like when I was doing my show in San Francisco. They would come to me occasionally and say, "Do you mind having this advertiser on?" And the Republican Party wanted to take out ads on my show, knowing full well where my politics were. Okay, and I said, I have no problem with that. I'm not going to tell them they can't advertise on my show. If we open up the doors to anybody to advertise, as long as they're a legitimate business of one sort or another, then I have no right to turn down the Republican Party. But don't ask me to do a live read, Don't ask me to sound like I'm endorsing it. But I would be against censoring an advertiser from being on my show. I would not say the Republicans can't buy time, but the Democrats can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, they do a Trump survey before I log on here sometimes.
Really?
No,
Oh,
it
yeah.
has to do-
Yeah, the Trump commercials. On.
the commercials that you get are based on the kinds of things that you search. So if you're searching stuff about prostate cancer, you'll get commercials about prostate cancer. If you're
Not
searching
necessarily
stuff
on
about
this.
Trump, then that's what you'll get.
Who's searching stuff on Trump?
Not necessarily.
I get the Trump ads. I never search for Trump.
Yeah, I don't ever search.
You know
for
what I
Trump.
noticed the
see
other
him all
night?
time.
Here's what you say.
What
that's it.
I noticed the other night on my show is before the show started, they run ads and things like that, and it was a Joe Biden ad.
Yeah, it's different all the time.
Yeah, but
It rotates out.
so I want to thank Joe Biden for
Tonight
buying.
it was knives, I think.
What?
Tonight it was Japanese knives when I logged in.
Oh, was it?
I guess it's different wherever you are. We had to buy an ad tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, does it like decide who you are and what best
Yes.
you would want to see? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
think so.
That's
Yeah.
what I noticed.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea behind the internet, is that they could focus on the things that you like. I hit a button once that I was looking at wide printers, like 36-inch wide printers.
Oh, and then printers would come up for days.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
it's been a month and I'm still getting them.
Yeah. It's hard to get rid of anything.
Be nice if they sent you a free printer.
Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll buy one in your sleep.
You know, even if you buy those things, it's the ink that costs. You know, they have like 14 ink cartridges and they're really big. You know,
It's the razor
Yeah.
marketing. But yeah, and then the bad thing is if your wife sees your Facebook from your phone while you're strolling on it, and it starts showing vacations because you just bought the family vacation for Christmas.
oh yeah.
That happened to me.
Oh, let me, Bree, if you're listening, I just looked at your chat, and you're saying, let me see here, about, there was a time when Alex swore off Zoom and said Skype was the deal. I was talking up Zoom on March 18th. Good for you, Bree. The fact was that wasn't what I said at all. What I said was I had more control of the way the screen looks using Skype than using Zoom, and that's
Bree-
why I
Bree
would. That's
pushing Zoom for a while, and you know, but like most people, when they want to troll you, they find something.
Yeah, well, he doesn't do a show where he has to put people on, you know, and like for instance, if people remember, I can't show you because we don't have anybody in
As
there.
a show.
But this was the way it used to look. That's the way it used to look, and then I could put people in that template, and I had more control over it. Here, I have to take what Zoom gives me, and that's what I don't like about Zoom. If I could do something where I could, you know, do the same thing with each of you in Zoom, that would be fine, but I can't. There's a way of doing it, but it's so complicated, it's ridiculous.
So OBS won't allow you to create a template because you have to put each one in.
Well, because the thing that does it with Skype was a thing called NDI, which is another program done by New Tech, and then I use that within OBS, and so I can then use NDI and say, okay, I want Kevin in that place, and I want you Phil in that place, and so on and so forth.
I wonder how long it'll take for them to come up with.
I think they would have already if they were going to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of the news agencies are doing that, and they like to customize the screen.
Yeah, but they have, $1 million worth of equipment.
Yeah, and you
What is
can do
Alex
it. I mean, I could take you, Phil, and I could isolate your picture.
Yeah.
And then just put it up, but I don't want to have to.
Yeah.
You know, and it's too much trouble to do each and every one of you, and every night I would have to do it separately.
Yeah, this sounds like this is easy.
Yeah. So in other words, fuck you, Bree. You know, whatever. Anyway, I'm lightheaded tonight. What is with me? I think.
Where is the chat on this thing?
I don't sound like I have the corona, do I, Brian? No. No? Okay. I'd be coughing like crazy, right?
If you're not getting worse, don't worry about it.
Hey, Brian,
It's
why
just
don't you test them?
It's just kind of the same all the time. Marjorie thinks.
How many fingers?
5.
Passed.
Oh, I mean, did you mean originally or that you were holding up?
Originally, yeah.
Anyway, but I'm lightheaded tonight. I'm just, because I've been taking pills to put me asleep, and one of them is the stuff for my neuropathy, which is Lyrica, and then the other I take is sometimes Xanax. But last night I didn't take any of them, and all day today I've been loopy.
Yeah, it's withdrawal.
Yeah, I think I'm going through withdrawal.
I had radiation first thing this morning.
Oh, good. That's a nice thing to wake up to. A croissant and radiation.
And then I went to my Rolfer, and I haven't seen him in 3 months professionally. And I tell you something, I can barely walk after he got done with my calves.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I get a haircut. This is nirvana.
And you don't have to go for any radiation Tomorrow
No,
is
get the weekend off.
And you're 2 weeks in now. You only got 5 weeks left of this Michigas.
Yeah, no, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
I get a haircut tomorrow too.
Yeah, I'm getting a haircut tomorrow as well. Of course, I don't have to leave the house to get it now.
Oh, yeah. The lady comes to you too.
Ryan's bragging.
Oh boy, yours really.
Nice.
Oh, look at that! You look like Zippy the Pinhead. Oh, that's good. So
Luckily, my wife knows how to cut hair, so that's to me good.
She doesn't, or she does.
And a little
She does,
short.
she does.
Hey, Brian, she went a little hard on the sides. You know.
Why are you taking Xanax? Oh, Alex, you're just having a hard time sleeping? Or?
Yeah, it's a nice little sleeping pill, but
Yeah.
But I don't like taking them now, and I'm trying to stop. And today I'm lightheaded, like woozy.
Try to tough it out. Try to tough it out for a few days.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons I'm also worried about I have a slight shortness of breath, nothing, and it's been this way for a couple of days. What?
It's wearing a mask.
No.
Not wearing a mask.
What, Jeff?
I think it's a warm time and real moist today outside.
That could be.
Alex.
That could be.
And I know I went out and took a ride on a bike, and I went, "Whoa,
Yeah.
this is different."
Did you have a shortness of breath though from it?
Yeah, a little bit, but
Okay. Well, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Also,
what it
must
is.
be a lot temperature.
We
I
have
think the temperature was close to 90.
We have these fans, right? And they get dust on the blades. So Marjorie yesterday decided she was going to clean the dust off the blades, and it's everywhere, But I mean, with the cleaning woman is coming in tomorrow.
So she's cleaning in preparation.
Praise the Lord. Yeah, she cleans before the cleaning woman comes.
So do we.
We do.
And it is so dusty. This apartment is so dusty. It's ridiculous, So we're gonna have to.
Are you guys allowed to stay there while they're cleaning?
While she's cleaning?
Yeah, because here our cleaning lady, they have a COVID-19 stuff, and they don't allow people to be here while they're cleaning. So the kids are here, but they'll go outside and play while they clean.
Yeah, well, I know she's gonna.
Why they do that? So they can go through your drawers.
She's gonna come here, but we're gonna stay 6 feet away from each other, and we're gonna wear masks if need be. If we're less than 6 feet apart,
Yeah.
So that's fine, I mean, plus she's not sick. And when she comes in, wait a minute, I'm loaded.
Oh, you got the.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the.
Yeah.
Let me see here. I'm 96.8. I guess I'm okay, huh, Brian?
Yes.
If I had COVID, I would have a temperature, right?
Yeah, most likely. But like, if your shortness of breath was getting worse, not just staying steady, then I'd be concerned.
Yeah, no, it's not
I'm
getting
not a
worse.
doctor. I'm not a doctor.
No, it's the
This
same.
plays one on Gabnet.
It's the same.
Right.
It's the same as.
I didn't think you had any symptoms, Alex. I didn't think you have any symptoms for the first week or two because you've got it, but you don't know it, right?
But then once you get it, you get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially the age and condition. Yeah.
I had this.
You had it, it'd be strong.
I had this kind of shortness of breath thing going on for about the last 2 days.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pollen, but the pollen levels are low. But we got all this dust and humidity and so on. So I'm hoping I'm okay. You think I'll survive this, huh, Brian?
Do you spend most?
We'll find out on Tuesday.
Yeah. Do you spend most of your time in the studio, or out in the rest of the apartment?
I'm all over the place here.
The only thing I was thinking is that they make these negative ion generators. They filter the air and they pull the pollen and all of that stuff.
You get a dehumidifier.
No, it's not it's not a dehumidifier. It's an electric thing, and so the air gets pulled into it, and then the charge takes the other stuff out of it and puts it back.
That works. They work well.
Yeah, I bought one years ago at Sharper Image.
Well, as I said a couple of days ago, I've often wanted to buy a humidifier, and also a dehumidifier, and put them in the same room at the same time and let them fight.
Yeah, we took my mom to the doctor the other day, and the first thing the lady did was they can only have one patient at a time. They zapped us with the that thing you have.
Yeah.
We can even go in the office, both of us. And if you have a temperature, they won't let you in.
Oh, they won't let you in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Marjorie was looking at something online because, you know, eventually they're going to have to reopen their office at least some of the time. And there's this thing you can actually have, and it's 2 poles that people walk through as they come in the door, and it'll take their temperature automatically.
And it'll make sure you didn't steal any clothing items.
Yes, right. Right. But it sounded like...
We had the scanner.
Didn't sound like... You have a scanner?
Yeah, they have the thermo scanner, and we have 2 questions. No one knows the answer. It's like, do you have any symptoms of COVID, or do you know anybody with symptoms of COVID? Like,
yeah. Have you ever
We've
been?
only had 2 cases.
Have you been
early on, like in March?
Are you now, or have you ever been a COVID? I wonder if this thing, if I put this thing on, because they started doing this last night about this time, if I am able, the waiting room, if there are people in the waiting room, I know I can see people are waiting in the waiting room, but does it notify me that there's somebody in the waiting room? That's a good question. Phil, would you like to hang up and then come back? No. No. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so let me see here. So we've got Trump doing his little thing tomorrow in Oklahoma City.
I wonder how many people he's going to kill tomorrow.
How many think will be there?
Huh?
I said, I wonder how many people he's going to kill tomorrow.
It'll be interesting to see.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks to.
Well, this is not exactly what we would call the best group for this kind of situation. Because these are people who haven't been wearing masks, I bet you, all along anyway.
Right.
And all of a sudden, you got them all in a room at the same time.
You're assuming.
Meeting of the mind.
One guy who they were interviewing was saying, "Oh well, COVID's not going to get me. I won't let it get me."
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how true it is, but CNN, their reporter was saying people say they don't believe in it.
Really? They're crazy.
Like it's fake, and
Well, that's what Trump said.
think the world is flat too, I guess.
Yep.
I don't know.
There are people who believe that today.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I know somebody who said, it's already done. Nobody
Really?
anymore.
You know, Cuomo did his final press conference. It wasn't really a press conference. He gave a speech. And it was so inspiring. I was almost going to play it here tonight. Maybe I'll play it next week. It was so inspiring to hear somebody tackle this thing and talk about this thing in the way that he does. And it was wonderful. It was just wonderful. He was just saying, he was thanking the New Yorkers. He says, thank you for what you've done. The reason why we have managed to just take the deaths and everything and make them down to almost nothing is because of you. And
think about it. It's quite a feat. It really is.
Oh, it is. And he thanked everybody. He said, you have taught me lessons I thought I would never learn at this stage in the game about these kinds of things and about you as a people. And I'm thinking, when was it that Trump ever said, good job? You know,
only to about what he does.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he claims he does.
Yeah.
He shut off the plane flights from China.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the kind of leadership you need in this country. You know, so.
Well, now he's got his own government-funded TV network with this takeover of Voice of America. That's fucking scary.
Well, did you hear about what happened tonight at the last moment? Let me get my mail here, because I mailed it to myself so I could read it. Let me see here. New York Times. Okay, here we go. Let's see.
12 points in the Fox polls, and you don't even believe that. So.
How much is he down?
12 points.
Alex, Ray is in the waiting room.
Ray is in the
Bree
waiting.
says there is a way you can turn it so it'll chime you when somebody enters the waiting room.
Yeah, let me see here.
I don't think so.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I don't see him.
Bree says
he
in the
just sent
chat
me an
room.
instant message.
What?
He just sent me an instant message. He says, "Can you tell Alex I'm in the waiting room?"
Well, he's not in the waiting room.
All right, I'll tell him.
No, he's not in the waiting room, but I'll open the waiting room, get rid of the waiting room, and let's see what happens. I mean, I guess maybe, here it is. Here it is. Admit. There we go. Now I know where to go for it. But I went for it. There he is.
There he is.
Coming up.
Okay. I'll enable the waiting room again.
So we have not just a full house, we have a royal flush.
Oh, do I have to now go and set that up? Son of a bitch.
So I heard you wanted to see if you got notified. That's why I called in. Did you get notified?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Got notified by me.
Notified by him.
It's supposed to be a way you can chime
Is
it.
that the way Zoom's supposed to work? Everybody gets notified by Phil?
Yeah, Ray texts me and I tell Alex.
Okay, let me
You can
see.
select allow chime on entry and exit, Bree says.
Allow chime on entry and exit. Well, yeah, then I got lots of chimes going off, Bree.
Yeah. Anyway.
You know.
Well, I was going to text Alex, but Phil, I saw you looking at your phone, so I figured I'd text you.
That could have been 10 seconds ago or 20 seconds, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Royal flush. There we go. I got it. See?
All right.
I can do these things. You know. So there we go. Anyway.
That's the beginning. And you know, nobody's getting cut off. The audio sounds good, even with 11. And you could probably have 14.
Hey, somebody else call. Let's see if we can make it hit the jackpot.
My wife teaches classes every morning with 50 or more people on Zoom, and they're all live on there.
Yeah.
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 And that she never has any problems, very rarely.
Let me see here. Image. Let me get another image here. I want to get the jackpot ready to go in case somebody else does call. Let me see here. Royal flush, jackpot, HIJK. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, there we are. Okay.
14 going to be fireworks or?
Huh?
14 is fireworks?
No, after the next what?
Jackpot.
After jackpot.
Jackpot.
Super jackpot.
Oh, lottery win.
Lottery win.
Super.
Really?
The lottery win, you know.
How much do you get?
Let me see here.
If it's the thing that Faye keeps getting mail from a Publishers Clearinghouse, you only get more letters and offers to buy magazine subscriptions.
Oh.
Yeah. So let me see here, and then I can hide the jackpot. So one more person calls, I can make the jackpot go off. So anyway, but no, you're right, Phil. Easy peasy, no problem with all of a sudden everything isn't suddenly like closing down.
Yeah, with Skype, once you got 8 people, some people didn't get camera. Wasn't that was a while ago, but
yeah. So anyway,
for me, it's nice I could see everybody in the square instead of the little circles.
I also have sniffles too, Brian. I'm always asking Brian.
Yeah, I
this
can only
question.
see 6 at a time, but I can
Sniffles. Uh-oh.
Oh, really?
It's great on the phone. I can't see everybody on one screen, but all I have to do is slide if I want to see more people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I have that for work.
Yeah, it's cool.
Where you can see what?
Well, I can only see 4 at a time on the phone at a screen, but I just slide from right to left, and then it fills in the next 3 people, and it keeps me in the upper left.
Yeah.
Isn't that the way Tinder works?
I don't know. I've never used it.
I know.
There's a dating program, and you slide if you don't like the person.
Yeah, you swipe right or left. Swipe right if you like them, left if they're ugly.
Yeah.
Years ago there was a site, and I guess it's kind of based on that, called Hot or Not.
Yep. Yep. I
Remember
remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, except Tinder, you can go on actual dates, though.
Yeah, but they had to vote you if you were on there and you didn't get so many votes, you couldn't stay on there.
Yeah, I remember
Isn't that how Facebook got started? Was something like that?
Yeah,
Facebook was started that way.
A directory for Harvard students.
Yeah, but for dating or something.
Yeah, it was the girl. Yeah, seeing if the girls were cute or not.
Right.
Well, hold on a second. I got a piece of news that came in shortly before we went on the air. The Justice Department on Friday abruptly tried to oust the United States attorney in Manhattan, Jeffrey S. Berman. The powerful federal prosecutor's office sent President Trump's former personal lawyer, Michael Cohen, to prison, and who has been investigating Mr. Trump's current personal lawyer, Rudolph W. Giuliani. But Mr. Berman said in a statement that he was refusing to leave his position, setting up a crisis within the Justice Department over one of its most prestigious jobs. I have not resigned. I have no intention of resigning my position, Mr. Berman said, adding that he learned that he was stepping down in a press release from the Justice Department. Attorney General William P. Barr's announcement that President Trump was seeking to replace Mr. Berman was made with no notice. Mr. Barr said the president intended to nominate as Mr. Berman's successor, you ready for this, a real lawyer, Jay Clayton, current chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission.
It's like the mafia.
Huh?
It is. It's a fucking gangster.
Yeah.
We're being run by a fucking gangster.
Yep.
Fucker.
Yep. How do you feel about this, Josh? You've been quiet tonight. Let me pull you in, screaming and kicking into this discussion.
I saw the headline. I don't know much more about it
than
what you read there. I mean, I know a little bit of background about it because I knew there were some investigations or whatnot. I mean,
isn't there some protection for these kind of guys who have this kind of office to be kind of protected from political?
I think it's mostly
it's called norms. Government norms is what it's called.
Yeah.
That's what our whole fucking government's founded on, norms. And if you just fucking throw them all away, we don't have a democracy anymore.
Hey, John, Josh was in the middle of something. I don't know if you heard him.
All right, go ahead, Josh.
Yes, Josh, go ahead.
No, I mean, I think the oversight, I mean, I'm sure that, they have an inspector general at the Justice Department would look into see if there was some kind of something improper or whatever. But I mean, I think in the end, it's, a presidential directive to remove people. So the true oversight would be, more from the people. I mean, I think some sensible people could draw a pretty easy line to say, you fired someone no one's ever heard of, and he just happened to be investigating your personal attorney. I mean, and people associated with him, that's fairly obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Has a bad look, has a bad smell to it. I would have to think people could draw that line. I mean, there'll be people who defend it. I mean, it's a sham, this or that, or whatever. I mean, so
Josh, is it legal for Trump to replace him? Do you know?
I would imagine it probably is. I mean, I don't know every little bit of the U.S. code and Justice Department rules. I mean, I'm sure it's not illegal. I mean, I think within the executive branch, the president can pretty much almost fire almost anyone, I believe. I think there are probably some federal law that gives certain protections to some people, but as far as I know, this guy's just
he's not
a U.S. attorney or an assistant U.S. attorney, and I believe they can be fired by the president anytime they want. I mean, George W. Bush had a big deal about that one of the years that he was in office when they dismissed a lot of U.S. attorneys at one time. Or maybe that, I believe. And then I think Trump did it again after he took office. They fired a bunch of Obama.
Trump was trying to fire another attorney.
What was this? What's this, Jeff?
I was just telling Pam about
yeah,
that Trump just fired another attorney.
Right. By the way, Ray Renati, do you know, Phil, that you're muted? You're muted. Hold on a second, Phil.
He's probably because of wind keeping himself muted.
No, and that's Phil. Phil, I muted.
Phil.
He muted me in error.
I muted Ray because he's making too much noise, Ray. So if you want to,
I thought I had muted myself. Okay.
Okay.
I got a message that I could hit shift something and unmute myself, but
where's the something key?
I don't know. I couldn't. By the time I got done reading the message, it flashed off.
I mean, but so I guess back to what we were talking about, but I mean, this is pretty standard operating procedure for this administration, right? I mean, you know, this is kind of how they operate and what they do. And we're not going to solve it here because this is what they do and they're not going to change. So the decision is going to be made basically in November.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I would like to think that actions like this are the reason that, you know, I read yesterday, or maybe it was the day before, that he's losing by 14 points in Michigan. You know, I mean, that's a pretty significant development. I mean, it's a state that he won.
Also,
and now he's down by 14 points in the latest set of polls in Michigan. You know,
I know a lot of people who did not like Hillary and decided, what have we got to lose with Trump? And those people are against Trump, like every one of them that I know, except Phil, would not vote for him again.
Yeah, so I mean, that's a poll. It's not the election, so you know, we'll see.
Well,
but
you know,
I would think that these are the type of actions, or at least I hope, that have led to those developments. We'll see if that's
well. The Fox polls, didn't you say, Rob? The Fox polls have Biden 12 points ahead.
That was Kevin, I think, right?
Kevin?
Somebody
Kevin?
said it.
Who said that?
It was the Fox poll this afternoon said 12 points.
12 points. Now, you know, you could say, well, you know, the polls said that Hillary was going to win, but it didn't say she was going to win by 12 points. They had her by about 4 points or something like that. But 12 points is quite significant.
Of course, you know, Trump said that it was a phony poll, and it was you know, the Fox people are nuts and everything else.
It makes Trump out to be an underdog, which is a good place to be at this juncture in the thing, because it riles up the base and it gets people to say, "Oh, well, I've got to vote."
Phil, you know how you're wrong about that, because I've known this to be a fact for the longest time, and that is, excuse me, my voice is a little hoarse tonight. That people will not vote for somebody when they smell loser's breath. You know, wait a minute, hold on a second. People do not vote for somebody they perceive is going to lose terribly, and the reason they don't vote for them is because they don't want to have to say the next day, "I voted for him."
This is far enough out. What is there? 140 days. This is far enough out to where being an underdog is a good thing.
Mm-hmm. It's far enough out that by the time we get to the election, he could win by 25%.
Right.
Yeah.
Not Trump.
Biden. I don't think Bill's theory is too far out of hand either. Myself, I don't think it is, because he could stir up all the swamp buggers, and they could come out. You know, who knows how many didn't vote last time that will vote this time?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. I know that everybody I know that supports Trump just says, "God, he's got to win. We got to vote." You know, it's much more. There's a lot of people that I know that say you gotta get out and support Trump.
How many do you know that didn't vote for him that want to vote for him? You know, this time.
Yeah.
About 10 people on Gabnet.
No. How many people that didn't vote for him want to now?
Right. I don't know any.
I mean, I don't know. I would almost take that as a bad sign, because those people are obviously not ashamed of this fact, and they are voicing their opinion. And I'm sure many of those people are accounted for in these polls, because there have been so many of them and they've come from such a wide variety. and yet the numbers are what they are.
Right.
So, I mean, I would almost take that as a bad sign. And I mean, I know everyone can say, yeah, but last time the polls said Hillary this and this is what happened. I mean, okay, that's fact, and I agree, but I don't know that that's in all likelihood going to happen 2 times, because this is a totally different set of circumstances. I mean, I look at that as, okay, it was a surprise. I mean, you know, you ran your play, you scored your touchdown. Fucking congratulations. I hope you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
But you're not tricking us again. All right.
The only other,
we've seen it. We're ready for it.
Do you any of you
the only other caveat now is that he showed his cards. Now he knows you know what you get.
Fred Smirks had his hand up.
Oh,
yeah, I think the polls they're pretty hard they're just unpredictable now because you know, with social media and stuff. I mean, how many of these trolls that are like, you know, on Reddit and all these QAnon people, nobody polls those people, and we really don't know how many of those people are out there. There's a great article, you can Google it, from Vanity Fair about the people that go to these Trump rallies, and they are fucking nuts. You would not believe how nutty these fucking people are.
Yeah, they are.
And you just cannot predict what these people will do. So I don't know how reliable these polls are.
There was only poll that stopped their presidential polling in the 2016 election. It was called the field poll, and it had been around for 50 years. And the field poll was very respected. But they, at that point, the 2016 election, they said, we're not going to participate. And I'm wondering if it's because there was so much BS in the way they're doing polling that Field just said, hey, I'm not going to get involved, because they were a respected poll. Do you remember them, Alex?
Yeah.
And it was 2016 when they said, no, we're not going to participate. And that was the last I heard of them.
Yes.
Also, notice this year there's no Green Party to take any votes from the Democrats. Notice that? It's like just Democrats against Republicans this year.
There's no libertarian.
And Republicans against Republicans this year too.
I think Jesse Ventura's running.
Is he?
Yeah, I think so. I read it yesterday.
Yeah? Why?
Because he's an idiot.
He's a fucking wacko.
Yeah.
Hit the head too many times.
Well, he'll just take Trump voters.
I don't think so. He's a libertarian, isn't he?
Bennett, I think.
I don't think he'll get any significant amount of the vote. I think he had his day when he was governor.
Well, the fact that none of us knew he was running seems to be an indicator that he doesn't have a good shot.
Yeah.
You know.
He running for president or some other position?
President, I think. I just read the headline. I didn't read the whole article, so it could have been a clickbait, but I think it was real.
Oh, well, you know, maybe he's using Pat Paulson's old buttons. Remember Pat Paulson for president?
Yeah. Ross Perot's come back.
I voted for Ross Perot.
I could see that.
Oh, yeah. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah, well, I thought he was a real patriot, and I felt that if I didn't vote for him, that I'm not giving him a chance to do it. I wasn't crazy about Bush, but Ross Perot got 19% of the vote, and even your business manager voted for him.
I know.
Jesse Ventura is not yet running.
Oh, okay.
There's a grassroots movement encouraging him to run.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah. The headline I saw was deceptive. And
I think they're all on grass is what's...
They're all pushing them.
By the way, I just have to ask.
Heresy
I have to ask Brian something. Brian, look, 96.9.
That's low.
Going down.
Huh?
Down.
So I haven't got COVID, have I? Not at 96.9.
Well, maybe you got the COVID, but your temperature's on sale and you got it a little discounted.
Well,
Just getting ready for the chiller.
96.9, still 96.9. Son of a bitch.
I'll be honest with you. I have to wonder.
Wait a minute, I'll try this.
I mean, I
I
have to wonder if Trump wants to be reelected.
all there.
I was just talking about you.
Oh, I was just gonna say. I mean, I just I almost wonder if Trump really would want to be reelected. I mean, I know there was an article about that in the New York Times a few days ago.
Yeah.
Some people around him are actually a little worried that he might be self-sabotaging. I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying I understand the point. I mean, actually, for him to run and lose is probably more lucrative for him than it is to win again.
Yeah.
Well,
Because he can always hang around, say, I can come back and run. He can do the Sarah Palin thing for 3 or 4 years, go speak here, go speak there. And then all of a sudden, every single one of these rallies that he'll hold for the next 4 years, just fucking around, they'll pay him to come instead of him paying to put them on.
Wait a
I
minute.
mean,
They were,
and
Josh,
that's kind of how he operates.
But
They were
Brian, let me ask Brian something.
replacing,
Hold
Pence
on
with
a
Nikki
second.
Haley.
Hold on a second. Brian, my temperature is 98.2, but this thing says, let me try it again.
Get some batteries.
Put that thing down.
96.8. Now, which one do I believe?
Get a rectal thermometer for the tiebreaker.
Well, maybe that little thing,
Air.
Brian, that thing he's holding to his forehead is a rectal thermometer.
Bend over and shoot that one up.
No, which one would you? Which one is preferential?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, I know all about this.
He's got.
Wait a minute.
Rectal.
Ray says he knows something about this.
Yeah. Rectal thermometers are very accurate.
Yeah.
The reason I know that is because in France, that's all they use.
No,
And
don't
like
put it in your mouth.
when I've had to take my temperature there, it's always been rectal. They're totally. That's what they do, and they're really it's really accurate because it's right in the tissue there.
98.1.
Call it the tissue if you want.
Yeah, the buttock, the asshole. Yeah.
It's a dirty crack, but someone's got to clean it.
Hey, your dog pooped. Where's the bag?
Yeah, he's not picking up. That's a fault.
She pooped? Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
Was it over here somewhere?
It was on the camera.
Yeah.
Middle.
Rectal
I wasn't
thermometer
paying it.
watching for poop.
You're never gonna find that one.
Oh, it's too dark out here.
I used
It's
to
like
do it.
finding a needle in a haystack.
No,
All right.
it's dark.
Only if you step in it.
Yeah, it doesn't look dark on the picture, but it's dark already.
Yeah, it's getting dark.
Yeah. Anyway, so I got to go get a rectal thermometer. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if you want a very accurate. Yes, you need a rectal
Is that a
thermometer.
basal body thermometer?
Huh?
That's
Just
a
the one you
basal-
stick up your ass.
Well,
Yeah,
this
I
is,
think it's a basal body thermometer.
well, this is a body thermometer.
Try taking it from the temple.
96.7. It won't go any higher. Maybe I need more batteries or
At
something.
Kaiser, every morning they use something like that on me, and sometimes they do it on the temple.
On the temple? Okay, hold on.
I wonder why.
96.6.
Shooting yourself.
96.5.
Alex, don't do it.
And this is Fahrenheit. Jeez, I don't know. I don't get it. The other one says 98.1.
Jump. Jump.
Yeah.
8 floors. it'll be
In any
6.
event, I don't have a temperature. I mean, it's just which one do I believe?
Yeah.
Any more discussion, I'm going to make you sign a waiver, so I don't have responsibility if you try to sue me later. Like Trump is doing.
You could do the old-fashioned way, like my mother used to do. She used to put a hand on my head. You're all right. You don't.
My friend who puts together dive trips,
You're wrong.
when, a matter of fact, I was on the Truth and the Conception, the Conception was the one that burned. And so I've been on dive trips with this guy, and he's very left-leaning. And he says, well, Trump is making people sign a waiver. And I said, well, you make me sign a waiver when we get on the dive trip. And he says, that's different. He says, that's for diving.
Well, no, but by making people sign a waiver, he is saying, yes, there's a possibility that this entire group could get coronavirus.
Yeah.
And there's no other concert or exhibition or whatever you want to say that makes you sign a waiver. But every time you
will.
they do.
And by the way, signing a
When they come
waiver does not absolve him of responsibility.
No, but I bet you once they start opening up concert venues and things that maybe they're going to start doing waivers as well.
Well, if you look at your
well, what they
baseball
will do is you won't sign a waiver. There'll be something on your ticket and a big sign at the front.
I got news for
ticket,
you.
you can't sue baseball.
The other night we were talking about baseball coming back, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, so today I heard that the Philadelphia Phillies have a breakout of COVID in their camp. That 5 or 6 Phillies are now infected with the coronavirus. There will not be any sports. You're not going to see baseball. You're not going to see
Bunch of Cowboys, Dallas Cowboys have got it.
I think a San Francisco 49er had it at
You're going to wait until there's a vaccine before you see sports again.
Can you imagine if we go
Before you see that, or movie theaters, or Broadway theaters, or concerts.
It's going to be a vapid, empty nothingness of our what do you call it? Our
venue.
No, there's a word. Our
Stadium?
culture.
Oh. Hey, Rob, do they have to pay the baseball players if there's no season? And
no, they're only paying per game.
Right. So if all of a sudden they don't play, then no money. And isn't there an issue going on between the players, the union, and the owners?
Hey, they got their $1,200.
Yeah, they got paid. They got paid something already, but they're done paying. They're going to pay by the game if they play. But man, now that you're seeing what's happening with the Phillies,
and that's why I said, right after when the Utah Jazz guy got it, and they shut everything down right away. But I got the thing on Facebook saying that that the Cowboys had it going through their camp, but I'm on so many Cowboys suck memes and so many things like that. I thought it was a joke.
I'm kind of glad that
Ezekiel Elliott's
the Raiders.
That's what I heard. Yeah.
The Raiders, picked up from Oakland and they moved to Las Vegas. Now they're not going to get to play any games, and in my heart of hearts, I'm kind of happy that they're getting screwed. I was pissed that they left.
Well, they're all getting screwed. It's not just one team.
Yeah, but this team screwed the Bay Area, so.
Yeah. But my question is, it's going to be a long time, and also the World Health Organization today said that their daily report or their weekly report is there are more cases now than there have been in the past.
Since we're not paying the World Health Organization, are they still sending us the reports?
Is it like the Arbitron ratings? If you don't subscribe to the book, you don't get the numbers.
Texas had 20,000 cases this week. They only have 100,000 for the whole pandemic.
Wow.
20,000 in 1 week.
Ray has his hand up.
Yeah, I just wanted to say with the sports thing, I got an email from Cal, my alma mater, that they're starting quote unquote voluntary training camp for the football team, which just sucks because you have to go. If you don't go, you're not going to play unless you're a star.
Well, think about those guys.
It's just not fair.
They're not pros, right? These guys, maybe they're seniors. They got a big chance, and they don't get a chance to play. They graduate. It's the end of it.
I know. It's just though that's like if anybody feels like it's unsafe, they don't really have a choice because if they don't go, they're gonna be behind the people who do go.
But if people get sick, I don't care who shows up. You can't play.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Well, anyway, we're not out of the woods yet, and this isn't. By the way, they keep talking about this second wave. This is not the second wave yet. This is still the first wave, where people got stupid and just simply brought it back.
This is the second wave.
Yeah. Am I right, Brian? This is still the same wave.
Yeah, because it didn't close out. I mean, not like New York, and New York's doing an awesome job.
Yeah, and I hope it stays that way.
Leadership.
Yes.
Leadership.
Yes.
Lederhosen.
Absolutely. But I felt today it was like the last episode of a series. I'm going to have to wait till the fall to see him back again. Anyway, that's it. That's our music playing. I will be...
Message me, Alex, if you have a temperature. Message me.
Okay. All right. Well, nothing says I have a temperature, so I imagine I don't have COVID.
Good. I can sleep over the weekend.
You have to have a temperature, right, Brian?
To be in your case, yes. The age and everything, yes.
Yes. Oh,
Or you need a thermometer that works.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you very much to, I was looking at me and going to say Alex Bennett, Brian Neary, and Rob, and Josh, and Fred Smirks. I'm going to keep calling you Fred Smirks until the day comes that you do away with that. Phil Meyer, thank you. Kevin Stopper, thank you. Tony, Jeff Stein, Ray Renati, everybody. They're all hanging up on me and going away. So why don't I wave goodbye as well and say goodbye to them too? Okay, there they go, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to end the meeting, and we're going to. Oh, by the way, there's no Jack next, but he's taking the night off because he's not feeling well. Okay, but we'll play a rerun of one of his shows. Okay, so you won't miss him entirely. Meanwhile, I'll be back again here on Monday, same time, same station, 10:30 Eastern Daylight Time, same time, same station in life. If I don't have the coronavirus, and in the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her. Okay? Bye, everybody. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Okay?